welcome back to On the Line. We have a great show for you tonight with the top finishers from the Kansas Kayak Anglers Tournament Trail Series number 4 at Dorado Lake. Tonight we're breaking down the toughest tournaments of the season with our top finishers. So let's introduce our guest with his first appearance to the show and first place finisher, Aaron Schimmel. Aaron, how you doing tonight?
I can't hear you.
He's having some technical issues. We'll come back to him. And second, 2 appearances in a row here from his first place finish, hot off his first place finish at
Sorry, guys, I can't hear you at all right now.
State Lakes Roadrunner, and second place, Ernesto Flores. How you doing tonight, Ernesto? I'm gonna remove him from the stage real quick. Well, first and foremost, Tim's not here tonight because he had to go out and catch his 2026 fish. I think we can all understand that. He was trying to get it. He had like 12 fish left, and he went tonight, and so he got 2026 fish already for the year. Let's see if that. Aaron, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Sorry.
All right, cool. Thanks. So first, I always like to go over some upcoming events and reminders. Next month, and it's not even that far away, it's like 2 weeks. August 1st is the North 75 shootout. So that includes 4 lakes. It's kind of like a road runner. It includes Pony Creek, which is near Sabetha. It includes Shawnee North State Lake, which is north side of Topeka. Banner Creek, which is in Holton. And then Lake Shawnee, which is in southeast Shawnee County, kind of southeast Topeka area. And then, while it's still a couple weeks away, we do our monthly tournaments for Kansas Kayak Anglers. So if you ever want to just jump in a monthly tournament, throw your fish on there for the month, practice for a bigger tournament. It's open to any public waters within the state of Kansas. It's only a $25 entry fee. It's not a huge cost. Mostly for practice and for fun. Nobody's retiring on those kind of payouts, $60, $70, but try to keep it fun. So that's actually up. So if you want to do the August monthly, we're well in halfway through July, and then we have the Sunflower Kayak Fishing Series, which is around the Topeka area, and kind of more like Topeka in Kansas City, and they're doing one next week on Tuesday night at Lone Star, and then I think the week after that's Gardner Lake. So it's a Tuesday night, usually from 5:30 to 8:30, 3 fish limit. I think that's it. I do want to mention one thing. Todd was talking today about Perry. We moved up the tournament for the Kansas Bass Nation to qualify for the Bassmaster Kayak Championship. And so it was going to be at Milford Lake in September, but we got to get him to Steve Owens earlier. So it's actually going to be at Perry Lake. And so at Perry Lake, we're going to do kind of a combined one-day Kansas Kayak Anglers and the Kansas Bass Nation Championship. It's an open tournament. Anybody can get in there if you want to get your chance to go to the Bassmaster Kayak Championship. It's going to be at Perry one day, and for this one only, just to make it easier, judging fish and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be a 12-inch minimum for the Kansas Kayak Anglers, because that's what the minimum is for the Bass Nation. So it'll be, instead of our 8-inch normal, it'll be a 12-inch minimum. So that'll be at Perry on August 30th. Double check my dates here. Yeah, August 29th, I believe. I'm going to double check I have those dates right. All right. Well, I'm going to move on to asking Aaron a little bit about you, since you're new to the show. I do have one question. I know I'm going to ask you this in a minute, but I'll wait on the question. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, and like really how did you first get into fishing, and how long you've been doing it?
So I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska. I grew up salmon fishing up north. Moved to Utah, went to school there. Ended up fishing kind of that. Well, I should say that salmon background is where I grew up. I still go up there about once a year to go see family. and that's where I fell in love with fishing. I fished my entire childhood up there, kind of playing around on the river, a little bit out in the ocean as well, but minimally there, and most of the time in the rivers, and enjoying that. When I moved to Utah, I kind of was trying to fly fish for a while, and chasing little trout just really never excited me after chasing salmon. So a friend of mine I went out to North Carolina to see a really good friend, and he took me on a river float in a kayak, and I caught like an 18-inch bass or something. Might have been a 16. I don't have any idea, but it was kind of hectic and just like pulling a crankbait across the river. And I honestly, that was like 2016 probably, and I've been hooked ever since. I got kayaks in 2000, probably 19 or so, and then have just really since then have started bass fishing. I've never did it prior to that. Didn't grow up around it. It wasn't something we had access to really. So
when's the first time you did a kayak tournament?
probably that same year I started. Had no idea what I was doing. Just was like, I love competition, and it was a reason to go, and a lot of camaraderie. And Erin Mathis out at KFU, which is Kayak Fishing Utah. She runs that program, or used to. Was a really good person, and just kind of really nice people to be around, community, and kind of fell in love with it. And I moved out here 5 years ago. I just kind of continued that along. So I'm fully addicted. I've got my friends addicted now, and we kind of travel around and camp and enjoy.
Misery loves company, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, I think we're all hooked. So was this your first Kansas Kayak Anglers tournament? Have you done some in the past? I'd seen your name before, but I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, I did some the first year I came out here. I fished Wilson Lake, and that was probably 22 or something like that. Fished down at Mine Lands, and just really had no idea how to fish Mine Lands coming over here from there. And yeah, so for the last few years, I've been fishing with Kayak Anglers in Missouri, on the Missouri side, and kind of travel around there. But about once a year, I'll hop in a KK tournament and fish that, and then I'll fish the sunflowers. And I mean, I would plug them for anybody that's brand new. That's a great way to get into fishing. The sunflower fishing group really does a good job there. Really easy kind of starter beginner way to go. So I fished with them a little bit, but
maybe I think that's where I met you at then. So Did you what made you decide to do this one specifically, the El Dorado tournament?
Honestly, I just had a free weekend, and I've never fished El Dorado before this. Like, I showed up, I had no idea what I was kind of getting into there. Had a free weekend. I was kind of looking at that one, or Truman. It was another fishing tournament that was going on, and honestly, I got skunked at the All-American Classic in Truman here a few months ago, and I was like, I don't really want to go back out there right now. So I was like, go over there and have fun. It was a good time. Glad I did.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Yeah. So you did well. So you said it was, I think on the award ceremony, you said it was like best day of fishing you've had all year.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like the fishing was like the best day, but the decisions I made, I think along the way were really good and solid. And I think that's the piece that really kind of played out. And I was happy about it. Yeah, I was really happy.
So do you have like your favorite confidence bait, like that you're always throwing? Like people are like, if he's not throwing that, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I'll usually, if it's confidence, it's probably cranking, honestly, just covering water with a crankbait. And I did that for a little bit. But I had some success recently on a different lake down on Table Rock with a jig on docks, and about, 3/4 of the way through the day, I knew I needed to upgrade to kind of do something. And I had confidence in a little bit of a jig bite on docks, and I got lucky with a couple there. So, but normally like crankbait.
Yeah.
Or Paula DT8 all day long.
I think Table Rock and Lake of the Ozarks are really great jig fishing.
Yeah.
So at least that's been my experience.
Yeah, and I'm just barely starting to jig fish this year. I just never really had a lot of wacky rigs and stuff like that 3 years past, but this year's been I've had some good luck that way. So.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to throw bigger jigs. I started throwing finesse jigs.
Yeah.
I was kind of a Ned rig guy for a while, and then I started throwing finesse jigs and kind of fell in love with it. And I started using 3/8, a little bit bigger jigs instead of like 1/4 ounce. So,
yeah, that's exactly.
So
honestly, that's what I was using, was a 3/8 3/8 football head jig, and it was just with a nice craw trailer size, and throwing it in there. I watched a bunch of big fish in Table Rock come out from underneath docks and chase that kind of stuff. And so I was like, wow, maybe I should do this more often.
Confidence is gaining quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have, so you fished, maybe not your whole life for bass fishing, but so would you have a PB bass, like largemouth?
Yep, caught it this year. I actually won big bass with it. It was my goal this year was to catch a 20-inch bass. I'd never caught one. I caught a 20 3/4 at Mazingo earlier this year, and I was like, wow, I got to, I don't know, chase something bigger. My PB smallmouth is at Perry, and it's like probably right around 18 inches.
Nice.
Which really aren't that big a bass, but
I'd take an 18-inch any day of the week, smallmouth. Yeah. I got a 19 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Smallmouth. That was fun. I actually had back-to-back. I had one the day before in practice too.
Yeah, it was like 21.5 or something like that, right?
Who did?
Did you get the 20?
No, that was my brother Tim. He caught a 21.5.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah. That
thing had to dig so hard.
They're fun. Yeah. I will say it wasn't at El Dorado though, because he wasn't there that weekend because he was his granddaughter's birthday. So
I mean, it's not a bad way to celebrate.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's get into tournament breakdowns. I'll flip over to you, Ernesto, so you can kind of talk a little bit about your day. So what was your plan going into the tournament day? Because I know I watched your videos and seen the struggle.
Yeah, I hate that lake. Nah, I kind of found something the day before. I had fished this bank towards the upper end. I basically got on this bank and started catching them on a white jig. And I caught an 18-inch smallmouth and a 17-inch smallmouth. And I think I was kind of along the same lines as you, Tony. Like I had 75, 76 inches pre-fishing. And obviously, if you've seen my video, like I tried all over the lake. I was just kind of exploring, never fished it before. Tournament, was getting ready to donate my $70 to KKA, or looks like I was going to donate it to Aaron. Yeah, so I had that going for me the day before. So I kind of knew where I wanted to start. But I think I found some clear water is my thing. This particular bank had water that was like, you could see. It's kind of like towards the dam, but I found it 2/3 up the lake. And then, so I caught fish there and had a plan. Woke up that morning, started on a bank on the opposite end, caught one on a fluke within like 5 minutes, just fishing topwater for smallmouth. But I was really dead set on, like, I guess at this point I'm making the decision, like if I could do it over, I would have just stayed there and fished that particular bank. But I was so focused on my plan from the day before that I caught one and just started zipping the trolling motor around to my bank around the point, and then started working my way down. And I struggled until like, I think 9, 10 o'clock. Had one fish. And then I got mad at the wind because the weatherman said it was supposed to be no wind. And then the wind kicked up and I had to adapt. I felt like the water coming from the river was really murking up my bank. And if I was focusing on smallmouth, the vision wasn't there. The water I noticed was noticeably dingier just when the wind started picking up and my bite fell off. So I went back to the point right before the bank where I caught him. And it's right around Sailboat Cove. And me and 2 other guys launched up there, but I fished with Outlaw Fishing. I can't remember his first name, but he launched out with me. Jeff, he launched out with me, and basically we parked on the 2 points sitting outside of that cove all day. And I was just lucky enough when the wind was coming on. I always had, before the tournament, I wanted to buy a new spinnerbait because I thought a spinnerbait might play. I didn't. But I have some, obviously. So I tied that on and it just started picking up largemouth. I mean, and I was just fan casting. And I was like, these largemouth are not sitting here because they want to. I mean, it's ripping wind. I'm seeing bait. I'm seeing, busting. I'm like, it's about to go down. So I just ghost cast this spinnerbait, catch one. I make another cast. I go to the opposite end of the kayak, catch another one. And then I cast out in the middle, get a couple more bites, don't get these fish in. And then, yeah, that's basically how my day went. I stayed on that point. Wind was blowing in. And if I could hit them with anything moving, I always say this is like the first tournament where I power fished. I did not finesse fish at all. I mean, I probably made more casts this tournament than any other tournament, but I ended up catching my keepers came on a chartreuse and white fluke, and then 2 on a spinner bait, and then 2 on a jerk bait, just kind of fishing the same kind of twitch. Hopefully something comes up and smokes it, and that's how my tournament day went. I felt pretty fortunate to stumble upon that because it just doesn't happen. Spinner baits and myself don't really go together. It's just kind of one of those like decoration lures in my tackle box, but it happened to work out that day. And of all things, on some largemouth.
Nice. So, Aaron, what about you? Do you have a plan going into the tournament? You said, now, did you get a free fish or you just arrived the day of?
Nope. Woke up at 2:30 in the morning, drove from Kansas City, put in and went fishing. I did have a bit of obviously I did some map research and stuff like that beforehand. I knew where I was going. I put in down where we did the at the launch where we did the award ceremony there, and went down towards the dam. And there's a spot where a channel swing kind of came in tight. And I started off right off the bat with a whopper plopper. And to be honest, I've struggled with topwater for the last couple of years for some reason. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about changing sort of your hook setups on the whopper plopper to run like an EWG on the front and a round bend on the back. And I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. Maybe I'll try that. And I did, and ended up catching 2 fish within the first 15 minutes. It was like a 17-inch smallmouth and then a 14-inch smallmouth right off the bat on that, which was like huge. I was like, oh crap, this is great. I haven't had this happen for a while. Most of this year has been like try to figure it out for the first couple hours and then try to grind through and get the rest of the rest of your 5 fish limit. So started off pretty good there. I was pretty excited, and I'm like, man, I could throw topwater all day if this is going to happen. It's by far my favorite way to catch fish because you actually get to see them, which is fun. But just kind of worked my way down the bank, and then I started getting into some like chunk rock where it seemed like the water was high there. I've never really been there, but I think the water was a little high. And I took out my DT8 and started casting it, chunk rock and bouncing it off rocks and stuff and working my way down. Had a couple of little misses down the bank until I got to the dam. And I picked up 2 more, and it was probably, 10, 11 o'clock or something like that when I picked up 2 off of there. Another decent, like a 14-inch smallmouth, and then a small one, like a 10-incher. And I'm going, okay, I got 4 fish. What do I do now? I didn't really have an idea. And I was like, well, I had a good idea on the docks before. I'm just going to go back to the marina and see if I can't flip docks for a while and maybe pick up a big fish. And pulled up to the dock, and I had actually with my personal best, I'd won like a LS Lures sponsored like a big bass box or whatever, and so I got a brand new jig, like a couple of jigs from them, and I had it tied on, and it was like I said, like a 3/8 football jig, and I was casting at the first couple of points on the dock, and there was some shade lines and stuff that you hear about is good and all that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, bonk, and yeah, that's a fish. And I reeled him up, and I'm sitting there, and it was a 19, so that was my biggest fish. We actually tied, right? I think I got you on a kicker fish. I squeaked like both of you guys probably should have beat me, to be honest.
Yeah, really, if I would have gotten a 17, I would have been in front of everybody.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, this is great. It was like the first like dock corner I came up to. So I spent like the next 3 hours, like every single corner on that dock, just chasing it. I'm like, guys, this has got to be good. I flipped every single dock in there. The wind picked up, and I was sitting there, and I'm going, okay, I got a really good, if I can get rid of this 10-inch fish, I got a pretty decent bag for me. It's hard for me to get over 80 inches, to be honest. So, and I still didn't on that one, but, so I was flipping around, not catching anything. The wind picked up on the point, and I kind of fan casted a DT8 over, picked up a 13-inch bass. So I was like, okay, now I'm sitting at like what 70, 77, 78, right in that range. I'm like, this is pretty good for me. This is a great day as it is. And just was like, okay, so I'm just going to go back to the jig and see if I can pick up one bigger fish. And ended up picking up another 15-inch bass at with an hour or so left on the day, and that was it. But the bites were, I mean, that's probably all I had for bites, but they were, I guess, the right bites for the day. So, yeah, like I said, it was good decisions, and I enjoyed. You always look back after a tournament and go, how'd it go, right? What decisions I make? Did I make the right ones? I make the wrong ones? What I do? Really felt like I made the right decisions during the day. Not knowing anything probably didn't hurt me on that lake, because if it was high, I don't really love high water usually. So not knowing it was high probably didn't, like, no predispositions. It was fun.
Yeah. Excellent. So I know I'll give you a kind of rundown of my day, since finishing third here, interviewing myself. But yeah, I fished Friday. I just launched my video from the tournament, and I have my own channel, and I don't know, probably haven't watched it yet just because I just launched it like a couple hours ago. But
no, I watched it.
You already watched it? Thanks, Ernesto.
Yeah, I did.
I gave you a shout out in there too. You saw that at the end.
I'm trying to see what you're cooking, man. Where you were cooking.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it a little bit low key, but that's pretty hard to do. It's pretty obvious spots, but nonetheless, I got there on practice day. I was there like 3 minutes, or 2 or 3 minutes, and then that was like my second cast, and I caught a 19-inch smallmouth. I was like, all right, I'm leaving this spot. So I left. I mean, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. Drew was just launching right behind me, and I'm trying to like go around the corner to hide it from him. I'm sitting here trying to reel it in, but keep it low and not let it splash. And then it splashes, and I'm looking back like, you know, 19-inch smallmouth is rare, so I don't want to give up the spot. But so then I went up the dam, and I caught a 17 on the dam. Oh, little puppy. Went up the dam, caught a 17, and I caught 17 total. Probably missed like 10, but they were all just hitting the tail and dragging it out, and then trying to I don't know, there were 7. I caught like 4 7-inchers in that day. And so but I actually had 78 on Friday, and I just went all the way down the dam. No, I'm sorry, I went north first. I went to the dam a little bit, and then I went north. I went all the way up to past the state park area, El Dorado State Park, and then I cut across, because on Navionics there shows all these big humps out in the middle that aren't there. So did anybody find those, or are they wrong, or what? Because they're not there. I mean, I looked for them. I went all the way across. I went up to the marina, and then came all the way back down and around. So I fished a lot. I mean, I went far, and tried to find something better than that 19-inch smallmouth, which I did not. I did find a tree that was like loaded with fish, and they wouldn't hit anything. And I was like, it was like this point that was under the water. It was on a tree. It was like fish hanging off, big fish hanging off of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is my winning tree right here. So it's like, let's see if I can get him to bite. I mean, I threw everything out that I had tied on, all different 8 rods, and they didn't even look, because I was live scoping them. Didn't look, nothing. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not coming back here, but if I don't catch anything, maybe I'll come back here and try again. And so I went there and went around. I was throwing my finesse jigs that I like. I threw a Ned rig. I tried some other stuff. I tried a whopper popper. I tried crankbait. Even tried I was like, I'll just throw a wacky rig and stuff like that. So I threw all that, no luck, and with any of that stuff. So I just went back and kind of alternated between tubes and a finesse jig and Ned rig on the day of the tournament. Tim's just going to put himself on right there. So that, yeah, it was a good day. And I honestly didn't think it was a good enough day. I missed one in the middle of the day. I kept getting, I don't know, I missed a couple like back to back. And during the tournament, it was irritating me. And I just, on my one, I don't do like power hook set, pulling the fish right out of the water. Like, I'm just kind of a mild hook set. and I just ripped that thing as hard as I could. And I'm like, don't get off. You're not getting off. I'm talking to myself. You're not getting off this bait. So I'm sitting there reeling in. I get it up. I'm like, oh yes. I'm usually very silent, but I was very excited for that 19-inch smallmouth. Finally get that in the boat. But yeah, that was a good day. So Tim's joining us. He was running late. I don't know if I said it already. Did I say it? I don't remember if I said it backstage or live, but Tim was out finishing off his challenge for the year. Tim, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, 2031 done. So
Fish, bass.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot when you're catching them. It's a lot. So there's another guy on my heels who might be there tonight as well. I'll just say that there might be another guy that made it tonight. So, but yeah, I was out last 18 days, 100 degrees, 4 hours of fishing. Get home at 10:15 at night. So I fish until I hear the coyotes howling, and then I come in. So, yes, it's pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Still got like 5.5 more months. What are you doing?
I'm taking a break. There's going to be no more measuring of fish. Marty can have it. It's all his. So, yeah, it was an extremely hard challenge. So I wanted to become first at it, but let's see what happens. So
I would agree. That's very impressive, John. So
it's like 448 a month or something like that, like 14 a day.
I'll have to say, Marty, does that tournament every year, and I don't think Marty's ever made it to 2026 this early. I pushed him pretty hard.
We pushed each other pretty hard. He's quite. Yeah. It's like the T1000 after you.
Yeah.
You like haunt your nightmares. You wake up in the morning, you're like, man, I know he's right there. So, yeah.
I'm hoping by this weekend I'll be at 600 fish for the year, so I'm way behind. My goal was 1,000 for myself because I caught about 500 last year, so I wanted to double that. So that's still 1,000 is a lot of fish.
Yeah. So. One thing I did learn is I can land fish better. You can tell just by how they fight where the hook's located in their mouth, which I never knew before. Whether you could boat flip it or not, you could just tell instantly, like what they're hitting on, what the lake's like. You pull up, you can kind of tell what the lake's doing. And I don't know. I probably caught, probably 12 or 1,300 of them on a chatterbait alone. So the chatterbait has come in handy this year. Let's put it that way. So
the fish whisperer now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be dead by the end of the year. So it's pretty crazy, but yeah.
Well, so back around to the questions, Aaron. I'll bring it back around to you. So I don't know how much you followed along with the Kansas Kayak Anglers this year, but every tournament so far has been over 90 inches to win.
So I got really.
El Dorado wasn't fishing quite as good. I was hoping to get 90 inches on smallmouth is what I was hoping for after a 19 and a 17 in practice, and I left the spot, So did you think that you're like, oh, everybody's sandbagging, there's no way I got this? Or you're like, oh yeah, I got this? What was your thought after submitting all your fish?
So I was sitting in like 4th place, and I had like a 10-incher, and I've been kind of like, whatever. I think everybody's sandbagging, but I'm like, whatever. I'm like, turn in this 10-incher, and it bumped me up to like 1st place right then when we went into the lights out deal. And I'm like, there's no way. I mean, I know you guys have a ton of really good anglers that fish your guys' fish this trail. And I'm like, and I know some of them don't turn in fish early either. So I'm like, there's no way. I was like, even after the tournament was over, texting my buddies. They're like, oh, how do you think you did? And I'm like, I think I'm probably top 5. Like, I feel pretty confident about that, but that was about it. So I was pretty pleasantly surprised. I've never been over 90 inches ever on a kayak tournament, so I'm not winning that one if it does go there.
When it's your day, man, it's your day.
Yeah. So you were pretty surprised then when I called up your name?
Yeah, I thought you were calling a different Aaron.
Yeah, you really did. You weren't there. I was like, Aaron? Is Aaron here? And I thought you were Aaron. And I was like, but I didn't really know you that well because I haven't seen you a whole lot. And I was like, Aaron Schimmel? And he's like, oh, that's me. He literally was sitting there like, where's this who else is named Aaron? It was classic, man. Good stuff.
That's pretty good.
So, but yeah, there's a few people sandbagging. There's always usually 5 or 6, but there was some people that were submitting fish, and I was like, they don't usually submit their fish if they're doing good, and they'd submitted them. So I'm like, okay. I was thinking top 5 for myself, and I fished at the last minute because I wanted to try to call that last fish. I knew I had a 13 on there, and if I could get like a 16 or 17, it'd bump me up. So I was like, all right, 1 minute left. I think I'm done. So I raced over to the award ceremony to get set up, and
It's kind of like an episode of Key and Peele when you called him up, Aaron.
yeah.
Yeah. That was my 48th tournament, and the first one I've won. I've won a few big bass. I think I won one sunflower one, not to down, but meant a lot. Yeah, had big bass a few times, but never actually won a tournament like that on a Saturday. So it was pretty amazing. I was smiling all weekend. Still smiling today.
I was like, you kind of still look like you're smiling. You're talking about
smiling.
I'll blame you, man. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. I feel like I shouldn't be on this podcast because everybody here has won a tournament, but this guy over here, myself. So I've come close a few times, but
yeah, I've got my little trophy wall back here, looking pretty good.
I guess I've won the Oklahoma Bass Nation event, but that was the only one I've ever won. That was with 54, I think, people, but that was just luck.
The one I'm actually proudest of, it wasn't even a tournament win. We did a Roadrunner tournament. If you don't mind me telling the story real quick, we ended up doing a Roadrunner tournament for Camo. They do one up in Brookfield every year, and they kind of run a radius or whatever, and you can fish a bunch of lakes within that radius. And for 3 years, I realized that you could win more money in the tournament if they used to have every lake was sponsored with a big bass. I was like, oh, you can actually win more money if you catch big bass in every lake than be a deal. And so I kind of started a Roadrunner deal where last year a friend of mine and I did 5 lakes and 5 fish in one tournament. So we went to 5 different lakes and then put a fish in the boat every single. And then we had to keep it on our board and ended up putting it away at the end of the tournament. I called out with like 30 minutes left, and that was one of the hardest things I've ever done tournament wise, but pretty amazing. Lots of fun.
Cool.
Good story.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So how many lakes were in that?
It basically centers around Brookfield, and it was every MDC lake, Missouri Department of Conservation lake. You could fish any of them within that radius. And so we kind of mapped out a route and spent like 2 hours in the truck and like totally throwing stuff out, trying to get it down the lake, catch a fish and move on. It was pretty fun. So if you guys can do it in your guys' Roadrunner tournament, it's kind of a fun deal to kind of try to fish as many lakes as you can and catch a fish in each one. It's not great for the AOI points, but it's kind of fun from that perspective.
Yeah.
Aaron, I may have missed it. Are you out of Topeka?
Kansas City, Shawnee.
Kansas City? Okay. Very nice. You plan on doing the next one as well, the 75 shootout?
I'm not signed up for it at the moment. The Perry one's pretty interesting to me. That's really not very far. I don't typically do very good at Perry.
It's fishing pretty slow now from what I hear.
I will say, I don't know if you signed up for a member or not, or if you're a member of Kansas.
Yet, no, I haven't.
You will have to sign up as a member.
Okay.
So come on and join us.
Okay.
We'd like to have you for more than one. So I think we're at 49, so you'd be 50th, which would be pretty cool. That's the most we've had in quite a few years. So
choose what happens. They win one, they just leave. They just leave us.
Yeah, just take their money and run.
Their money and go.
But yeah, so Ernesto, what about you? I know you waited. You were one of those people that waited till the end of the day. I don't know, if you were doing that on purpose or if you were didn't have cell, because there's lots of areas I didn't have cell phone coverage there. But nonetheless, did you think it was enough?
I heard somebody at the last or somebody comment on a post saying at the last tournament when I uploaded my fish and they saw like 92 that it changed the way that they fished. And I was like, man, that's probably the truest thing I've ever heard. I've heard, because if you go on the leaderboard, you check, it's like, dude, I got 20 inches and the dude in first has 90. Like, what am I to do here? So yeah, I decided not to upload my fish, but I get pretty locked in when I'm fishing, you know, as it goes. I checked it at 12:30. I told myself I was not going to check this standings because I was just going to fish, and you guys saw I was struggling. So it's not like I had anything. I was like, if I catch fish, it'll be a good day. I wasn't expecting to really do anything. And then obviously the magic happened and I caught some decent sized fish, but checked it at 12:30. Saw that first place was, I think it was like at 74 or something like that. And I think at that point I had close to there. I had I think a 12-incher still in my limit by 12:30. And I cooled up at like 1:30 with a 16-inch. Honestly, to me, it looked like a smallmouth spotted bass hybrid. Um, it's weird because I know what smallmouth look like. And then the spots below the lateral line were like, this is a weird looking fish. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but caught that fish on a fluke with like 30 minutes left to go. And that ended up cooling me like 4 inches. So, I mean, that's what ended up basically sealing my standing in the tournament. And to answer your question, I checked the standings and I saw a bunch of sandbaggers and I had no idea. I was like, I think I fished decently enough for myself. I was happy enough for the finish for myself because I caught fish. And I caught them fishing, honestly, a pretty cool way. Happy for that. Then I checked the standings, saw the sandbagger, I was scared of Pontuti. You know who you are. And Scooshes and everybody. And I was like, dude, there's no way because these dudes are going to come in. Somebody caught 90 inches of smallmouth here. And so it was just a surprise at the weigh-in and honestly surprised at the inches, but it was just a tough day. That lake's been tough with it being high and water clarity. And I mean, there's good fish in there, but you got to find them and catch them. So surprised, but
Tony was talking about next year possibly doing like a 5-inch deduction if you sandbag off your total.
whatever you want to do, man. But I think that's right. I think it does change the way you fish. I mean, I know some guys don't want to check it all day. I heard Matt say that last tournament that he didn't check until till the results aired later that evening. So if you want to leave it that way, that kind of leaves some excitement to it. But I bit from the tree and checked it at 12:30 and knew I needed to go, and that's what we did. And that's why I ran back. I was late because everyone's usually making their way back by 2 to the boat ramp. I was running to the spot at like 1:30. And that was, a 30-minute boat ride back to the boat ramp to where I was catching fish. So, and it paid out. So,
nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say if you're new and you're new to tournament fishing, like submit a couple fish at least, make sure you got your identifier, make sure you're doing it correctly. The guys have been doing it forever. I mean, it's on them if something happens and they don't get to submit their fish, right? So, but yeah, I mean, it's nice from a judging standpoint that like Tim was, sitting at his son's house judging all the fish. So I didn't even look at any of the standings or judge any fish all day, which was nice. It let me focus. I was like, okay, we got to do this more often. So, but yeah, I didn't even look till we got to the award ceremony to see where everybody was at, so I could do the announcements. And it was I was surprised. And then we had the one fish. I got fourth. I'm pretty happy with that. I was tickled with that. And it was just a miscommunication. There was a fish on there that was the wrong picture, and then the fish came. See if I explain this right. And then Tim adjusted the fish measurement, and then
it was a 16.5 he had listed, and I seen it was a 16.25. So
and then he submitted the 16 back the right picture with a 16.5.
Honest mistake.
Didn't realize, and then we're driving home, and he texted us. He's like, "Oh, I made a mistake," and so I had to fix it. And I was like, "Oh crap, that put me in third." All right, so halfway home, I realized I was in third, which was quite the surprise to me. So
I kept telling Tony he was going to catch 95 inches of smallies there, but he didn't.
Over 2 days, I got close to that. I caught like 90. So
yeah,
but
I had that bite me before sandbagging where I ended up not getting cell service or couldn't connect. So I get really nervous about it. Like I always submit 2 or 3 fish early, and then
especially like a Mound City or something where there's no signal, and it's like if you get any signal, you better throw that thing up there.
Yeah, you run to the nearest church as soon as you get off and try to find.
I can see it where people start seeing you got 93 inches and they come up beside you and they're like, "Hey, what are you using?" I mean, I understand this, some sandbagging when people are fishing beside you, but
yeah, I've stopped submitting my fish until I leave my spot. Like if I've got 3 or 4 fish, I'll submit 12s and 13s just to make sure it got something on the board, just to make sure I didn't like not put the identifier or something's going on with my camera or something's going on with Turning X. I think we lost Aaron there. Oh, there he is. So I always try to submit, at least, and then once I leave a spot, if it's good, then maybe as I go to another spot where I'm not catching fish, then I'll submit them. So you never know where I'm catching them at or submitting them from. Because
I think it's been like 3 tournaments now where they're like, I haven't caught a single fish. I'm like, well, this is what I'm using, and then I lose to them in the tournament.
He's not.
So do not do that, people. Do not show people.
I seen last year we were fishing the Tournament of Champions for Sunflower, and Austin Applegate was there, and he'd only caught like 50 inches. And I was like, dude, I just pulled in a 19 and a half. He's like, no crap. And then I see it, and then he ends up beating me because he's like, well, I just gave up until you told me that. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell him anything again. So yeah, you run into that stuff and you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. I try to be honest, but also like, I'm not going to tell you I caught a 19-inch smallmouth,
So Ernesto, my wife wants to know, do you weave all those baskets behind you?
No, that's my wife's doing.
Okay.
It's a good wall. It's a good backdrop.
Yeah. She's like, I wonder if he weaves all those. I was like, I'll ask him.
Yeah. I use it as a backdrop. Yeah.
You need to get you start making some room for them trophies that you're winning.
Yeah.
This guy won a big bass trophy on his very first Kansas kayak angler tournament ever.
Nice.
So, he's coming up pretty good and getting a little scared of him.
Yeah. He's get one more good win, man. You're right up there, shot for AOI. So it's anybody's game with 3 tournaments left. Anybody that's had a top 5 finish or even top 6 finish, maybe even, it's all up. Right now the numbers could go any way. So
I did stop by Pony Creek today on my lunch break, and the water is green, so green, and so I'm like, but I don't think there's as much grass as there was last year. So we'll see how that plays into effect. I know there's a big tournament there this weekend, and there was one last weekend, so we'll see. And I fished Banner, and I caught 2 fish out there last time, and it's like 90-some degree water temperature out there. So, and then Lake Shawnee is fishing decent. Let's just put it that way. It's fishing good.
Yeah, Lake Shawnee's great for numbers, but it's hard to get a 5 fish big bag there. It's every time I go, I usually catch one 17 or 18. I think the biggest one I've caught out there was a 19 and a half or 19.75. I haven't caught a 20 out there. I've seen plenty of people catch them, but to catch 5, 18-inch fish plus is pretty hard at Lake Shawnee. You'll go out there, and I've caught 30 fish in a day, no problem. But 2 of them were, respectable, So getting on, I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying I don't think I can do it.
And they're so random at Shawnee. You're just fishing along a 10-inch, and then you catch a 22-incher, and you're like, what? I've been catching 10-inch fish all day. I don't understand. So,
yeah, my experience out there has been all 12 inches all the time. It's pretty solid at the 12-inch mark.
It probably holds a state record smallie, I assume. So,
but that's mostly my experience with 1 or 2. I mean, if you want to fish for smallies, you can fish for smallies. But if you want to fish for largemouth, you can fish for largemouth. That's what's kind of fun about it. So, I think my favorite lake this year, just overall, has been Lyon, honestly. So Lyon County's just been fun. It's just a lot of fun. If you like to fish grass, that is. If you don't like to fish grass, then you probably stay away from there. But it's just a fun lake. lots of little fish, a lot of 15s and 16s, which are fun, instead of 11s and 12s. So, yeah. So any we talked about the tournament stuff. Any fun, weird, or exciting stories that happened at the tournament that we haven't shared yet? Ernesto, what about you? Oh, you're muted.
I got beat up during the tournament, man. I was standing on my kayak, getting thrashed around by the wind, fell. My legs are all bruised. I wet my feet, had to get the dogs out to air them out. It was just it was the definition of a grind. It was just a grind, but it was a fun grind.
Did you fall in the water itself or just on your kayak?
Just in my kayak multiple times, like just getting beat up by the wind. And then just funky hook sets and fishing out the back of it, because the trolling motor spot locks into the wind. And learning to, I've had to learn how to cast behind me and just boat positioning, but just getting thrashed around. I was bruised up after the tournament. You'll
see that a lot in my videos when I'm doing that, because I'll be kind of turning around like this and casting it up, and then I'll kind of drag it in like this. Oh, and then it's a horrible way to fish because I missed more than I should. Instead of just like going up and coming around, then going up, to get tired of doing that. So that's why I'm not 100%, but I'm trying to save some money. My next motor next year. This year I bought a kayak. Next year I want to buy me the new Garmin Current. John Quanstrom, he's on. He was at Perry Tuesday night Sunflower, and he's got one. And they now, I don't know how it works. I'm not a scientist or whatever, but his current's on the back, and you push a button and it does bow lock, so it keeps you pointed. And it's like that's like 14 feet away. How does it know where? I was like, do you have like thought maybe you had one of those like little pucks or whatever in the front of there? No, it just like knows. And I'm like, how is that even possible? And he's sitting there in the wind, there's motor behind him, facing the wind. I'm like, that's that. And I was like, okay, I'm buying it now.
It's that alien technology that they have, that the government has.
Yeah, I was actually driving to Jefferson City this morning, listening to your guys' podcast with that was just talking about the motors and the various. I can't remember when you had it, but
Cole.
Yeah, Cole. That was last year.
Such an informative.
Yeah, that guy.
Makes me feel pretty good about the XI3 that I run, but
yeah,
the Garmin would be pretty cool. And I really would love to see if it'll kick up, because if it kicks up, I really want a river kayak. I think that's pretty much the way to go if you can.
Yeah.
Well, after like 5 years, I think I found my new kayak, and that's that XRT 14 that's coming out. I think that's going to be my next kayak.
The XTR
140,
with pedal drive.
Yeah, with the pedal drive. That thing looks just sick. So
yeah,
what tournament?
Yeah.
It says, what tournament is that playing this week?
It's the I-70.
I-70 Bass. Something.
I think so. I'm not sure, but there'll be a lot of people probably out there, I'm sure, or a get together. There's always about 15 boats out there every weekend. So, but it's a no wake lake. So yeah, I'm a little jealous with John there on his setup. He comes by me every once in a while. I'm like, who's that? And I'm like, oh, it's John. He's got like 7 new attachments to it.
Yeah.
Doing 20 mile an hour.
What's that?
He's doing 20 mile an hour. Just
right.
And that big XTR, that bonafide XTR he has, I think he said it does like 5.2.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Austin's got one too. It's fast.
Austin got him a Current.
Yeah, and it's fast.
Oh, I don't think I saw that yet. What's he got it on?
Yeah.
He's running on
his native.
Native, that's right. I remember the green Native. Yep. Yeah. How fast can he get up to?
Faster than me by a lot. 5.5, 5.4. I think he said 5.5.
It's the worst when they pull away from you. It's the worst.
Yeah, I was trying to even pedal, dude. I gave up. Whatever.
Tony and I were doing a tournament with Austin Applegate when he had that NK 300 on the back, and we both had our motors on the front. We were at Clinton. It was like 3 miles to the marina where we launched from. And I'm pedaling, and he's just, and then he'd pull over, he'd fish, and he'd see me catching up. and they'd take off again. And I'm like, we get there and we're both like dead, absolutely dead. And he's just like already fishing. But
Yeah. The zebra mussels were bad. I was dragging a jig and I had some come
Really?
up on there. They're really bad in that lake. I don't know. I had to retie on quite a few times because my line was like pull up and then get a fish out and I'd be like, man, that line's all frayed. I'm gonna have to I'd cut it off and tie. I don't know how many times I tied on.
I didn't know.
I went through so many because I was running leaders on all my stuff. I went through so many leaders. I hate tying on leaders on the kayak, and I just kept switching rods until I was down to my last one at the end of practice day, with 1 foot of leader on it, and I usually put 5 foot of leader on. And I had 4 rods I was using, my finesse rods, and I had about 5 foot of leader on each one. By the end of the day, I was down to a foot. Yeah. That
might be one of those deals where monofilament might work better than fluorocarbon for that situation. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the XTR also caught my eye. Yeah, it actually caught my eye, but I just bought my Old Town Pro 4 months ago, so I don't think I'll be switching anytime soon. I like the 12 footer, but part of me wants a 14 footer, just size. So
I pulled out to I think it was one of the lakes, and the guy's like, "Oh my God, your kite's been through some stuff." I was like, "Yeah, I went out 110 times this year." He's like, "Oh my God." Just I live on a gravel road, so it's covered in dust and mud, and I'm like, "Yeah, get used a little bit." So
yeah, that those XTRs are big, that's for sure.
They are.
So
really are.
Tim, do you have the questions pulled up? Do you want to kind of go to our round robin, just kind of a random questions?
Is that
anybody that's watching, if you got questions for these guys, me, Tim, Ernesto, or Aaron, drop them in the chat and we'll throw them in the mix. So yeah, Tim, you want to take some questions?
So the next one is with the 3 tournaments left. Is that what we're on?
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, I'm going to ask you first. With only 3 tournaments left, do you have any that you're looking forward to?
I mean, I'm actually kind of looking forward to. Actually, I think Milford, because I did so well there last year, but I also think that's probably going to hurt me, and I'm not going to do as good. So, I don't know. I like Perry because it's close and I can sleep in my own bed. I still haven't figured out where I'm going for North 75 yet. Shawnee Lake is 10 minutes from my house. So do I just go there and sleep in thinking about it and just not expect to win and get 65 inches, or do I probably won't go to Shawnee North. Although I did miss a really big one there in the Sunflower last time I was there. I just don't think it's kind of like Shawnee Lake. I just don't think there's big enough. I don't think I'm going to pull off 5 winning fish. So Banner Creek kind of did me over last year, and Pony Creek maybe, but I mean, it's kind of like everything for me. I usually catch 1 or 2 nice fish up there, but I usually don't get a good 5-inch or 5 fish limit. So I don't know. I probably should just sleep in my own bed and go to Shawnee Lake. I know that lake like the back of my hand, so
yeah,
I fish it at least every other week. So
yeah. Ernesto, what about you?
I'm looking forward to the next one. I knew where I was going since last year.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. But that's just because I want to go there. I don't want to drive to Pony. It's clear Nebraska. And I'll let the Nebraskans take over and have that one when they come down and sign up for the tournament. I believe last year's tournament, the North 75, wasn't it 40-some people, 30-some? Yeah. They're high 30s. So I'm just expecting Pony Creek to be a slugfest between a lot of boats and the Northerners. But I don't know. I haven't been out and pre-fished or anything. I'm kind of just chilling. It's summertime, and it's the most miserable time of the year to be out, Tim, to catch 2,026 fish. It's hot. Yeah. It's a grind. So I haven't been chomping to get out since El Dorado. Just kind of, I went hard. I went really hard at El Dorado. I went pretty hard. And then Perry, I like Perry. I think that lake is fun. That offers you so much to fish in terms of what you want to do in different parts of the lake. I caught a limit there last year, and Clayton beat me in the big bass last year there. Uh,
With like 20 minutes
so
to go. You said Perry?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
I had a 19 and he just pulled up with a
Yeah.
21.5.
That's,
That hurts.
yeah.
But yeah, Perry's gonna be fun. Milford I blanked out last year, so we have some work to do there. I'm not sure I'm looking forward to it because I don't know how I'll fish. I just don't have good history there, but I'm looking forward to trying to learn that lake because I know it's got big smallies in it. Just got to figure out how to catch them.
It's hit or miss with that lake. They're on or they're off. So we actually had a really good practice at Perry. Nice, big, giant, thick smallmouth. I mean, 18-inch smallmouth looked like it weighed like 4.5 pounds. I mean, they were fat. And then the day of the tournament, the weather kind of changed and it just kind of just turned them off a little bit. And so, but yeah.
It's kind of like that with El Dorado. I think
Yeah.
it would, if that rainstorm not hit, I think that would have been a little bit better day.
Yeah.
So I think it would have bumped everybody's averages up 10 inches, honestly.
I guess I can release my El Dorado video from the year before then now, since it's.
Yeah.
I slaughtered them out there. It was pretty
Derek
good time.
already signed up for North 75.
That's nice.
I haven't even done that yet. I was waiting to get my money from this last tournament, which I got. And then I'm going to use that.
Roll it over.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Aaron, you said you didn't know if you were going to fish it. So, what if you were going to fish it? Do you know where you'd go?
On Perry? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I fish there. I mean, it's a 35-minute run from my place.
Oh, nice. Not bad at all.
Bad, 40 minutes maybe. I fish there a lot. I actually really like it as a white bass fishery, and I know that's counter whatever, but eating white bass isn't bad. Yeah, I know where I would fish there. I've tried to fish different than when I started. When I first got here, I fished there a lot. And the last 2 times I would try to go to a different part of the lake, and I didn't like it as much and didn't catch as much. I'd go back to where I started. Yeah.
Any windy point with anything spinny will catch you a white bass on that lake.
And the
No,
drum.
There's nothing.
Drum.
I'd much rather catch a white bass any day of the week than a drum.
Yeah.
Derek's ready for Perry and Milford because we all know Derek does not like road runners.
I'm telling you, 5 fish, 5 lakes. There's something to it. That's a hell of an achievement if you can pull.
We've been thinking about doing that for like a monthly or something.
Yeah.
Like Marty Hughes does, or trying to think of some other ways to kind of mix it up a little bit next year. So if anybody's got ideas, let us know. So we'll probably do a little bit of mix up on the Big Bass Bonanza next year.
Yeah.
Changing it up a little bit. That's a fun one. So, but more to come on that later after this one's over with. But all right.
Hopefully that 21.5 Smalley holds for the monthly.
Yeah.
For big bass. Every time I'm like, oh, I got the big bass. Nope, somebody gets a 22, or I'm like, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Tim had one of the biggest ones ever in Kansas. Was what 21.75 up there that you got last month, and then or 2 months ago, and then
and then Austin.
Then Austin caught a 22.
Was it 22 or 22 and a half?
It's like 22 and a half. It was almost 8 pounds. Some monster.
It was ridiculous. Giant.
North 75 is August 1st.
Yep.
John, are you going to be able to make it? I know it's just 2 weeks away.
I tell you what, I've fished all 4 of those lakes within the last 2 weeks, and they're all fishing pretty rough. I know Banner like the back of my hand, and it almost skunked me, and so I wasn't too happy about that. But I did take my Banner video off YouTube though, so it's private now. Until
I think I have a YouTube video out there in the last year of every single one of them lakes. So check out Random Likes at Random Likes, and you can see how to catch 12-inch fish. It's amazing.
Yeah. So
the thing is like there's fish everywhere in those lakes, but there's a lot of small ones.
Yeah, there is.
Oh wait, I'm double checking here, John. What was I? Did I say
August 1st?
I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's August 1st. Yeah, I'm getting it confused because the right after that, August 29th is Perry. Yeah. I'm gonna double check, make sure I have that right on the calendar because
that's the important one. You get to go to nationals if you win that baby.
Yeah.
So, I have not fished Perry this year yet, but I heard it's fishing kind of rough. So we'll see if that holds true.
It's been fishing rough this last because it's been so high and they're letting water out. Like Tuesday night, we had sunflower there, and I didn't even catch a fish. Like I went really far, went to my spot I like. It was nothing, just crickets. So then I went all the way. I just wasted 30 minutes, and I shouldn't have. It was a gamble, and it did not pay off. So I think Clayton was the only one to get a limit. But I think it's going to be stabilizing here in the next week or so. It's almost back to regular pool, and as long as we don't get any really huge rains or anything like that, it should be stabilizing. Now, it can be affected by the weather. It always is, but I don't know.
That guy
Nice
could catch a
out
limit.
there.
That guy
What's
could
that?
catch a limit in a swimming pool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
The Kansas kayak fishing.
Yeah, there you go. So next month, Tony, the North 75 shootout, what do you predict on inches wise? What do you think it's going to take the win?
Well, last year I thought it was going to be 95.
Yeah.
If you go back and you watch the tournament or the podcast from last year, I did horrible. We had a big heavy rains come in and stuff. I thought Pony was going to be beaten up too much, so I went to Banner. I couldn't even get a limit. However, the winner fished at Banner. Second, third came from Pony and Big Fish, which was Austin Clements. He got it at Shawnee Lake. So, it's really,
yeah.
I mean, if somebody wins from Shawnee North State Fishing Lake, though, I will be surprised because they're in there. You just gotta find them.
You got to find them. They're deep in there. I can tell you that. If you're going to find them,
Yeah.
you better go deep.
Yeah.
Deep into the little lily pads. So they're back in the lily pads, but it's, yeah.
If first place comes from Shawnee North State Fishing Lake, you can put it on the record. I will buy you lunch.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Which actually, Tim and I haven't officially said it, but speaking of that, last year we just all met at the parking lot at 46th and Hunter's Ridge. Tim, I don't know if you're still game for it, but On the Line was going to sponsor pizza and buy everybody pizza at the award ceremony. So Tim and I like to throw a meal for everybody.
Yeah, Tony.
If Tim backs out, I'm buying pizza for everybody. So
just depends if you win again. No.
So anyway,
Ernesto, what about you? What do you think? 75 shootout. What do you think the inches are going to be?
There's hammers here, and you guys know that. So 90. Somebody's going to catch 90. Somebody's going to find them. That North 75 was the very first Roadrunner kayak tournament I'd ever fished. And the thing that's so intriguing is just the fact that like you could go to Pony, and if Pony's off and you go to Banner and Banner, like it just adds the array of like the inter-lake on-offness, because one may be fishing like crap, one might not. It just throws a randomness to it. So, and as the results shown, first from Banner, second from third from Pony, and Big Fish from another one. So I think it's going to take 90. And I think these lakes are going to get better too. I mean, we're getting later on in the year. We've had a pretty substantial amount of rain in the last like month. I mean, just really honestly this year. And I would hope that it would slow down, but we still got a month. I mean, not for the North 75, but at least Perry. We've got a month and a half for conditions to stabilize. And I think in the fall, that lake fish is hopefully a lot better. I don't know when we had it last year. Was it around the same time, or was it a month before?
It was the 7th of September. It was like the week after Labor Day.
Oh, right around the same time then.
Yeah, so this one's the week before Labor Day. And I'm hoping that, I know there's a lot of boaters and stuff out there Labor Day, but there's a lot of people fishing too, right? So like, I bet it got beat up from Labor Day. And then we had a weird weather come through the night before the tournament. And so I'm hoping maybe the weekend before Labor Day will be better than the week after, but we'll see. So it's a tough lake.
Yeah. Aaron, what about you?
I mean, you guys have said it yourself. It's going to take over 90 to get it, right? I mean, you said that time and time again. And the times that I fished with you guys, there's a lot of really good fishermen in KKA. There's no question about that. And they put up big numbers. So I don't know, 92. That's just a wag.
Yeah.
It's all the better when you beat them, isn't it, Aaron? They're so good.
You know what? There's nothing. I was gonna say this. Like, if the fishing sucks somewhere, there's nothing wrong with packing up and going somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have a backup plan, right? It's never a fight until you get punched in the face. And there's nothing wrong with packing up your kayak and going to a different lake in a Roadrunner tournament. You still have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil ruined it.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's watching tonight.
Thanks, Neil. No, if you're fishing Banner, you can, it's 20 minutes to Shawnee North, or if you're fishing Shawnee North, it's 20 minutes to Lake Shawnee. It's even from Banner to Shawnee Lake is only probably 40 at the most. Or Banner, let's see, my house is 52 minutes so it's 12 minutes to Banner from my house. So yeah, it's 40 minutes. So you can.
Yeah, you're probably not going to go from Pony all the way to Shawney Lake, but
that's probably not a good choice.
Unless you're up there at Pony and you're like, I'm just going to head back. I'm going back to Kansas City. I guess I'll stop by Shawnee Lake for 2 hours and get a limit.
I did catch like 95 inches on Wednesday before the tournament, and I was like, I got this wrapped up. They're all going down, and then it rained like cats and dogs on Friday night, and I caught 3 fish on Saturday. So it'll humble you real quick. That lake, if it rains, it's bad. So we'll see what happens. What we got next? Is there any lakes Kansas kayak anglers should put on the schedule for 2027? Ernesto? Is there anything that would?
Honestly, I don't care, man. Throw it in front of me and I'll eat it. I'll show up. But if you really want me to throw a lake out there, I like going down to Big Hill. I can swing a camping trip a Friday, pre-fishing, camping overnight, Friday night. Last year, I woke up at like 4 a.m. before that tournament. We were in like a tornado warning. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do.
Yeah, I remember.
That was crazy. I slept in my truck. I was like, I'm going to die kayak fishing. That's how I'm going to go.
Not a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Big Hill. I would just say Big Hill. But honestly, you guys do whatever you guys got to do. And I think no matter what, everyone's going to have an opinion about where we should go, how we should fish and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you guys are putting in a lot of legwork for us to show up and fish in these events. So I'll show up and I'll fish wherever.
Sounds good. Aaron?
I'd like to go back to mine land. I did horrible there the first year I came here. And I need to probably move that off of my radar. It's one of those sour tastes that you just got to get rid of. And
I enjoyed it this year.
This year was a good year. The weather was on. I didn't enjoy it, but a lot of people did.
Yeah.
So, there's another Roadrunner tournament right there. You could do the same thing. 5 fish, 5 lakes at mine land, easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keep saying it, but it's tough. It's fun.
I better get a passport or something, or a Mirage, or
it's something to drag along.
God.
Paddleboard, go.
Tony, Tony, is there a lake you'd like to see on there next year?
Yeah, I'd like to do one out of state tournament, mix it up. I'd like to see. I've got a couple in mind for next year. Maybe partnering with one of the Missouri.
Lake Fork.
Partner with one of the Missouri, Moyak, KMO, something like that, or go to Oklahoma. For a lot of people, we've done Cedar Bluffs before, and for all the guys around Kansas City area, that's a 4+ hour drive, and so maybe something northeast side of Oklahoma. We got a couple of lakes in mind, so I'm going to try to do that. And we can always do an extra one that's a non-AOI. It's just like a fun get together too. But there's only so many weekends in the year for fishing, so it's tough. But yeah, I think that would be on my list. I actually like to do Clinton Lake as well. It can't be any worse than El Dorado. So.
Clinton's a good one if you can hit it early in the year before the Lawrencers get out there pleasure boating and stuff. And that lake is fantastic. I've been on like I've told you guys on this, I've been out there electrofishing. There's fish out there to be caught, and if you fish it, dude, Austin and I were talking, and I remember this idea. you just said new ideas. What if we ran like at the end of the year, you ran like a heavy hitters type style tournament where it's big bass, all the big bass winners, the top threes from all tournaments, and you do like a, MLF's version of a heavy hitters, like after the KKA championship, almost like a side, like make it your side,
Mm-hmm.
an extra tournament outside of AOI, just throwing
Tournament
in
of
an idea.
champions.
Yeah, something like that, I guess, if you wanted to call it that, or you could just label it as let's just go fish with that AOI KKA standings on the line and see what's up. But
Just to beat down who's the best of the best kind of thing.
I mean, the championships, still in play, but this would just be an opportunity. Like, let's say you run this in like November or something, or, late September sometime, or early March before, you could take the standings from 26 and run it. First term of the year is your championship heavy hitters in March, and then you begin the regular season, or however you wanted to do it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. I don't think I'd make the list, but that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, we just have to get 5 Claytons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Clayton, he's got his son fishing with him now. He's 12, and I think he might give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
So.
Damn.
I think one of the tournaments I'd like to see next year is back to Wilson. It fishes so good. I know everybody hates it, but it fishes so good.
Smallmouth fishing, it does.
It's fantastic. But well, Ernesto, what's a favorite snack you like to bring along on tournament day?
I usually don't eat, and then I wait until the tournament's over and I grab like a whole Casey's pizza on the way home and smash that. That's like a 50% bat rate for me. If I'm actually eating it, I'll probably bring like a peach, or I have things that are religious for fishing days. Some nicotine pouches, maybe, get a little boost going. Coffee. Always got to have that coffee in the morning. And then I ate peaches when I was pre-fishing El Dorado. I just love packing some sort of like carb, fruit, whatever it is. But I'll abstain from eating any like heavy meals out there. I don't really want to be eating. Plus, I'm bringing enough tackle. I don't want to, I can't bring an extra like 2 pounds of food.
Tony's out there selling food off the side of his kayak, and you're over here.
Don't call me the snack king for anything.
He just opens up his coat and it's just lined. But,
what do you have today? What do you have today, sir? What do you have?
Aaron, what about you? Is there something you bring along?
Most days a PB&J sandwich, maybe 2 of them. Couple of Coca-Colas and some coffee in the morning, no questions.
Yep. Sounds good. Tony?
Yeah, Derek got me on, what do you call it? The PB&J, the Tim.
Uncrustables?
Uncrustables, but that lasted for like 3 weeks, and I got tired of them. So I just stick with PB&J sandwiches. I take 1 or 2 like you, Aaron, and Diet Pepsi and a bag of like Doritos, Fritos, whatever, chips, and maybe a granola bar and some trail mix and water. And
It does.
Whatever I got in the house, that looked good.
I hope you go to Banner.
What's that?
I hope you go to Banner in case I need some food.
So I can sell you some snacks.
Oh, I just gave it away.
Maybe he's out there baking pizza in this freaking kayak.
Well, I went to Banner last year, Ernesto, and it
Banner, it's a horrible lake. I would not go to Banner. It's not very good.
I have
everybody should
redemption
just go
there.
to Pony. We should just do it. Just a Pony Lake. That's it. So
I don't think I caught I didn't catch a limit out there either. I struggled.
I can tell you Banner is an interesting lake. It's got lots of trees on the west end, and if you can get back in the trees and you can flip, you can catch some nice fish back there. That's all I'm going to say about that. But you just have to navigate through all that stuff. That's the key. It takes about 2 days to figure out what's going on back there. And then Pony, it's the same way. Once you figure out where they're at Pony, you catch 100 inches at Pony, but you catch 90 plus inches at Banner too. So, and Shawnee,
Lake.
what's that?
and Shawnee Lake.
Johnny, I know that there's a story out there of mid-90s smallmouth caught out of there. So all smallmouth. So
I'm kind of surprised that North gets the rep that it does. When I started working for Wildlife and Parks, we wrote and owned that and killed all of the shad and all of like the age one crappie. So that would have been 7-8 years ago. I mean, nuked the forage base because the forage base was pretty out of control, and so I'm surprised 7 years later that it, unless you guys are lying to me, but
Maybe.
I feel like there's some fish out there to be caught. Just because I know that was a recently, if you want to deem renovated, it's a recently renovated lake within the last decade, and sometimes that's what a fishery needs is a reset, a hard reset.
Yeah. No, I think they're in there. I just think they're tough.
if it clears up, it's muddy. If it clears up, it's a fantastic lake, and you could probably pull some pretty good fish out of there.
Yeah,
I
I missed the biggest fish I've ever. I actually was using one of Clayton's Morning Dawn CNC custom baits chatterbait and run it over grass, and it broke my braid, a 15-pound braid. When it came up, hit it. I set the hook. It's the biggest fish I've ever seen in there. It had to go over 5, maybe even 6. So they're in there. It's kind of like Shawnee Lake. I fear that I can't get 5 good ones in 8 hours. So
we'll find out.
That's the fear at every lake, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
And what do you Jake, in your snacks?
Uncrustables, usually 2, and then chips. It's just so easy, just throw them in, just throw them and go. And then usually like two small Snicker bars, and then 2 bottles of water and 2 diet Dr. Peppers. That's my every morning for breakfast. Uncrustable, and I'm like a 12-year-old, and a bag of chips. And my wife's like, "Oh my God, let me guess, Uncrustable this morning." I was like, "Yep." So I probably ate 350 or 60 of those this year. But thanks,
Maybe
Derek.
make like a protein PB. I don't know if they make them, but like a protein PB&J, like a half granola bar kind of thing with the extra protein.
You know what? Off the subject, I had a peanut butter and jelly with granola in it. It was out of a vending machine. It was one of the best dang peanut butter and jellies I've ever eaten. But yeah, they put granola in between the peanut butter and jelly, and it was fantastic. So. Well, Ernesto, do you have a bucket list lake?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'd like to go fish all over the place, honestly, if I could. I think it'd be really cool to go fish like the South Carolina herring lakes. Be cool to go up north, New York. I've seen some of Blanchard's videos up there where he's up there hammering them. The Northlands of Wisconsin, Canada, if you want to go off the beaten path. All these trips. Fork, if you want to go chase bigs. Yeah, I'd love to go try it all. Right now, my fishing just pertains to Kansas. So, but.
Aaron, what about you?
Sacramento River Delta, maybe maybe even Clear Lake. I mean, there's huge fish out there and totally different type of fishery. I think
it is.
Maybe even the Susquehanna. I think as a tidal fishery too. I've never done that. That'd be pretty cool.
It's coming up next month.
Yeah.
I think it's this weekend, isn't it?
Oh, is it this weekend? I thought it was August 1st. I was actually going to go to Susquehanna this year and fish that bass, but yeah.
My new go-to is Nature Valley soft bake oatmeal squares peanut butter. I'm going to check those out. Those sound delicious.
I've had those. Those are good.
Are they good?
Soft.
Nice. I don't like the hard Nature Valley one.
No, they cut the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
Like when you bite into it, and then the soft ones get stuck to the roof of your mouth. So take your poison.
And
Tony, what about you? Any bucket list?
Hell, I don't know. I kind of want to go back down to Lake Havasu and a little bit later in the year because I did the Bassmaster there last year, and I'd like to go chase some big bluegill. And I caught some big bass, and the river's gorgeous. I kind of want to go back down there sometime. I don't know. trying to think. And then I also want to chase some big smallies like up north.
Mhm.
Like I wanted to do the Fox rivers and stuff. I went to Chequamegon Bay, which is, I think I said that correctly, up in the by the Apostle Islands up by Bayfield, Wisconsin, and it's right on Lake Superior. Am I saying that right?
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember. I get them all mixed up.
You got like a 3-pounder right off the bank, wasn't it? Like on a Ned rig or something.
Yeah, I was throwing a Ned rig, and the water was like, it wasn't real windy, so you could see like 6 foot down. And I was like, and there was this big. I was up there on an anniversary trip, so I didn't get to fish that much, which rightfully so. But there was this big jetty kind of thing that was like built with like, I don't know how to call it, but it was like almost like railroad ties and stuff, and it was like 100 foot long, and it went out like 50 feet. So it was like, imagine like a big dock, but it was like land, right? And you could pull up there and you could park and you could fish. And there was 3 and 4 pound smallmouth just swimming like right up next to it. And I just dropped a little net. They're like, well, I took a guide out, right? He's like, oh, we don't use Ned rigs up here. I'm like, okay. And I didn't bring all my gear because it was on an anniversary trip. So we went for like 4 hours, and I caught a 5-pounder. But the guy, I don't want to speak ill of the guy, but like the way he was measuring stuff, it's not like we measure in kayak. So I've got all these spots up there, and I could have taken my kayak out there today because it was like very low waves, very low wind. It would have been perfect kayak fishing. And we went and fished these rocks and stuff. Oh man, it was like pulling 4 and 5 pound smallmouth out left and right, and I kind of want to go back there again. So
Nice.
yeah, definitely insane. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
I think they broke the record with 6 pound. Yeah, shell crackers. So, what about you, Tim? What's your bucket list? I think I
I
know
like
the
the
answer to this.
Susquehanna, but I don't know. My goal, I think, this next year is, well, it's been that every year since I've been alive, but to catch a state record smallmouth from Kansas. I've been around them. I've seen some big smallmouth, and so my goal is to catch a state record smallmouth. So never seen a state record largemouth in my life, but I've seen some big ones. But yeah,
that that smallmouth I caught at El Dorado was, I think, the biggest one I caught this year. Usually I stumble on a handful of 18, 19s, and 20s, and my 20-inch PB smallmouth came out of Clinton Lake, and yeah, I'd like to. That would be fun to catch a couple more. I haven't really been chasing smallmouth this year. I've been going to a lot of non-smallmouth lakes. So
you have to stay off that spot next year, though, if we go.
oh yeah, I found another spot. So
right by that spot, 20 feet.
yeah. Well, I think that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thanks for sharing your stories. Aaron, it's great having you on. Hope we can get you back to another tournament. Ernesto's having you on. We're gonna have you on for a third 3 in a row. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. So you guys, I know Ernesto's giving some shouts, but Aaron, do you got any social media, like content creator stuff you're doing, YouTube videos, you want anybody to follow?
No,
Any,
I don't have any sponsors either, but I do like to usually throw a shout out to Tony's Ice Cream, like Gastonia, North Carolina. If you're ever there, friggin' amazing ice cream. So
Really?
yeah, just
did you put that on your post?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I thought I was like, thanks to Tony. I was like, oh, never mind. But yeah, you guys have the right name.
Well,
Yeah.
whoever wins can go down there to North Carolina and eat the ice cream when
Yeah.
they do Bassmaster.
Yeah.
For sure.
Ernesto, you want to give a few shout outs?
Yeah, to Dylan Young, who retrofitted my kayak with a bunch of 3D printed stuff so I could get my net and catch board and just a bunch of other like odds and ends. He's got a 3D printer. It always pays to have somebody with a 3D printer. And yeah, I want to give him a shout out because he hooked me up before tourney season when I was getting my kayak ready.
Nice.
Tonight.
Ernesto, are you pre-fishing where you're going? Are you gonna
Yeah,
You're fishing days, are you?
most likely. I actually am leaving wildlife and parks. I am
Really?
going. I have a new job that I start in 2 weeks, and in the time that I'm transitioning, I have some time to go fishing. So I am going to spend some time for the North 75, see what's up.
Very
Cool.
nice. Are you going to basket weaving?
No, no basket weaving.
Well,
No, hey, if you're in the area, I only live 12 minutes from there, so from Banner. So you have to
Okay.
hit me up, and
he'll take
I'll
you to all
take
the
you.
best spots, I'm sure.
I'll take you
Yeah.
to the. Yeah, I always catch fish off here.
Just bring me a Uncrustable.
All right.
So,
But yeah,
Ernesto, Aaron,
Yep.
thanks for joining us. Tim, congrats on your 2026 fish. I guess I'll congratulate myself for third place.
yeah, congratulations.
You can check out the video. I launched it a couple hours ago. Random Likes. That's my weird YouTube channel name that I came up with before I ever got into tournament fishing. Because I just have so many random hobbies. So that's where I came up with the name from. If nobody didn't already know that. So got a lot of random things I like, and it stuck. And now I've got all sorts of weird stuff on there. So you go back and watch my first video and get a good laugh. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe to On the Line. And we'll probably see you in about 3 or 4 weeks with our next top finishers from the shootout that I'm excited to see how people do and how it goes. So that's it, y'all. We're out. Have a good night. Aaron, Ernesto, you can stay on for a minute.
Yep.